at Weatherford High School, back for game number 2 of the day for the Woodward Brewers. In case you missed it earlier, the Woodward girls rolled in big fashion over the Cache Bulldogs with the 70-35 win in the quarterfinal game of the regional consolation bracket. And so that means Woodward girls survive, advance on to tomorrow. We'll play 1 o'clock again tomorrow. Shift over to the main site for the regional, which is Kingfisher. It's where we'll close out the weekend. The Woodward girls will await the loser of Weatherford and, of Kingfisher and Manford. That game taking place. Should be wrapping up here in a bit. We'll hope to have a score on that soon, as we're witnessing in front of us now the Weatherford Elk City game. It's pretty back and forth. But Weatherford right now starting to get a little bit of advantage. I tell you what, the Lady Eagles playing their best ball at the right time this season, Eric.
And they're good. You know, we saw it when we came down here. Was it the first of December? I think it was December when that game happened.
Early December.
Very first December, second game of the season.
Yep.
We came down here. We saw how good they were. You know, and then we saw them at the Kingfisher tournament. We know they had just kind of come out of a stretch where they hadn't been playing very well, but they're starting to put it on right now, and they're handing it to Elk City right now. That's for sure.
It's an Elk City team that's bound with them in previous matchups throughout the year, but Weatherford right now controls 45-26. So should this hold, we know Elk City will fall to the consolation side of the bracket, and they will take on Clinton tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, while Woodward again would draw the loser at Kingfisher-Manford game. Kingfisher going to be tough to knock off in this regional. The boys, though, of course, coming into tonight, it is the top billing. You get the top ranks. Weatherford Eagles, the big dogs, here in their home gym. And I tell you, folks, compared to what we had earlier in terms of the atmosphere, it's a lot more intense atmosphere out here tonight, Eric, than what it was earlier in the day. Obviously, a lot of people at work, school, what have you, but people showing up in droves, not only for this girls' game, but was sure to be an interesting boys' clash as well coming up.
Yeah, that's how I walked in. Of course, the last time I was here, you had the headphones on, so you don't get the full crowd experience when you're wearing headphones. But yeah, I walked in on the Weatherford side right as they hit a basket in this game, and the place was loud.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I can only imagine what it's like whenever you get this place full, for a, even a rivalry game, when it's Weatherford versus Clinton or somebody like that.
Or even right now, Weatherford Oak City's turned into a pretty good one over the years.
And so, this place is loud, and it's already got a lot of energy. A lot of people are excited about what's coming up next.
Absolutely. Looking at the bracket on the boys' side to update some of those scores. So, looking at, not a surprise as we're looking at the score update for Kingfisher-Manford on the girls' side. Kingfisher rolling, it was 58-21, it looked like fourth quarter there. So likely to be Kingfisher moving on to the championship game. That means Woodward likely to draw Manford tomorrow in Kingfisher at 1 o'clock on the girls' side. But anyways, back to the boys' side, just kind of set up the bracket. This Woodward and Weatherford game will be coinciding with the other winter semifinal going on in Kingfisher at 7:30. That's Kingfisher and Cushing battling there. Cushing, obviously, highly ranked team. We've seen them earlier in the season. Kingfisher has been playing some good ball down the stretch as well. So that'll be interesting to see who comes out of that. On the consolation side, the loser of the Woodward and Weatherford game would play at 7:30 tomorrow night in Kingfisher against Manford. Manford able to beat Clinton earlier today, so Clinton's season comes to a close as Manford rolled 52-36. On the other side of that consolation bracket, the Elk City boys, their season comes to a close as well as Cache took them down this afternoon here in Weatherford 59-15. So Cache Manford now waiting to be losers of tonight's games, and that'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But again, for the Woodward boys, got the 25-1 Weatherford Eagles tonight. And we've talked about on the coaches show yesterday. It's a big moment. And, Eric, I want to start here with what Connor Price told us about this, right? And I think the sentiment of it kind of applies pretty well for tonight. These boys know that, hey, you're playing as a big underdog. No pundit out there that's trying to predict these games is going to favor Woodward. We know that. On the other side of that, too, the Woodward boys know there's nothing to lose tonight. You're not going home if you lose. All you could do is either say, okay, hey, we fought, we came up short against the #1 team in the state, or you pull off a monumental upset. Either way, it's not necessarily a bad result. So you could tell, I think, in talking with those guys last night, it seemed like they're ready to go out there tonight, play free, play fast, and play hard.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, when you have that kind of, mindset, you got to take that mindset as far as the result at the end.
Yeah.
But you can't kind of fall back on that and say, well, if we're not playing very well, we're move on. No, you got to come out. You got to, you still got to come out here and give 100%. Honestly, you're going to have to do things at the 100% level all night long. And, you've got to cut down on turnovers. You've got to get rebounds, things like that. If you're going to be able to beat a Weatherford team, and it's the first time in a while the Boomers are going into a game and they're not the one with a bullseye on their back.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of the way it's been this year, the way they've been rolling. But flip side, it also could fire up Weatherford by them coming out and saying, hey, we're not going to, we're going up against an upstart team that's going to be tough. We're not going to let them kind of show us up in our home and things like that. So, I think there's just a lot of teams, or both teams have a lot to prove. Even Weatherford has a lot to prove against a team like Weatherford or Woodward, saying, hey, we have a chance to go out there and make a statement against a good team.
Yeah, and Weatherford's used to that. And another thing that I know these Weatherford boys will remember, at least, the Sages and C.J. Nixon and Jackson Smith for sure. Woodward came up here for districts last year, and the boys started out leading that game by a few points on the Woodward side, right? And kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassed Weatherford, kind of showed them up a little bit at the start of that game. Now, to be fair, the Eagles, hit the gas, if you will, later in that first quarter and just carried that through the rest of the way. So they turned it on, but I guarantee you Weatherford remembers that and says, hey, we're not going to let them get that early momentum like that again tonight. That's going to be probably an early focus.
Yeah, and the Boomers need to come out too and not worry about trying to get the momentum early on. Just come out here and play your game, because we've seen, multiple times this year where they've tried to push a little too much, tried to go, a little too fast, and unfortunately kind of starts snowballing when they start making mistakes, things like that. And, the Boomers just need to come out and kind of show Weatherford, hey, we're not the same team that you faced in early December. We are a team that now has chemistry. We trust each other as a team. We trust the coaching staff. It's all kind of starting to come together. So, the Boomers have an opportunity to just come out here and play their ball. And I think if they come out here and just play their game, and they play a clean game, they have an opportunity tonight.
Well, and so many storylines on that side of it for Woodward, right? Obviously, like you said, it was early season. Second, you hadn't really come together yet on the boys' side. And Weatherford, to their credit, in that first matchup on the season, treated Woodward like an opponent that had come into the game winning a bunch or had a lot of success, right? They guarded Caden Gaines like he was dropping 30, and it was the first time he'd seen varsity action. The way they were guarding him. And, the Carter Reeds of the world, those guys were still, solidifying, okay, it's senior year now, we got to really, crank it up. So I'm curious to see how the boys respond to that pressure, because and we've seen it with Weatherford in the past, where quite frankly, when they decide, okay, it's time for us to take control of the game, there's pretty much almost nobody that can stop them. Between Nixon, between the Sages, between Walker Kennedy and Jackson Smith, when those guys get rolling, good luck to anybody else out there.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing about a team like Weatherford is there's not a good way to do it where you kind of put all your eggs in a basket going after one person. You got 4 people on the floor who can, change the game at any time. So as far, when you get out there, you've got to stick to your assignment. You got to play on your man. You got to play on hard. You got to play good defense, move your feet. You can't just say, well, I'm going to have help behind me that's going to slide over and take care of business, because no, they've got somebody else they've got to worry about. And so that's what makes, and that's why Weatherford's where they're at. They arguably went up against the best team in the state, which is 6A Owasso.
Yeah, had arguably the best player in the state.
Right, in the Tournament of Champions. And Owasso, it was a good game through, really the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Weatherford was still in that game. Then Owasso kind of pulled away a little bit. But, it shows how tough this team is against the best team in 6A, arguably the best team in the state, and they hung right with them in the fourth quarter.
Weatherford's led by head coach Derek Bull, a guy that when you look at his background, you think, okay, you know, this is a guy that clearly knows his game a bit, but I don't know if anybody would have predicted what he would have transformed this program that Weatherford has coming into his tenure. He's in his 6th season. Mind you, over the last 3 years, so this senior trio of Nixon and the Sage twins, they have done no worse than a state semifinals. A state semifinals appearance with these guys as freshmen, and then as sophomores and juniors, state runner-ups to Douglas in games where you could argue, you know, a couple plays go a different way, they win those. It was back and forth, tight contests there. So, you know, they're a few plays away from being back-to-back state champions, but the big thing for them is that they're not. You know, and these guys understand that. They're hungry for it. Factor in a guy like Walker Kennedy, who had a really successful career going at Piedmont up until last year, and then he comes over the summer to add on to their repertoire. And it just makes for another lethal mix. And record-wise, folks, when you look back at what this trio of Nixons and the Sage twins have done, coming into this game, through their high school careers, Eric, they have totaled 106 wins to just 13 losses.
But I'm going to say this. They're not the 99 through 2002 Woodward Boomer girls.
That is true, but
so
man,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
That territory, though, is rarefied air, beyond rarefied air, to be honest. But that's still, I mean, you want to talk about
really solid.
And in 4A no less, that is extremely hard to do. You know, and that we start getting to the upper classes.
Well, you know, and they definitely have genetics on their side. You know, as far as, you know, you think about the twins and what the twins can do as far as, you know, the way they shoot the ball, the way they move off the ball, you know, and they're 6'5". Is that what they listed as? I'm not sure what they listed as.
I believe 6'7", actually.
Is they listed at 6'7"?
At least 6'6".
I don't think they're quite 6'7".
6'7", yes.
Okay.
Both of them listed at 6'7". CJ Nixon listed at 6'5".
So I don't think they're quite that tall. I think they're getting the basketball roster height. But they're tall, you know, and the fact that they can do, you know, what they do, you know, and like you could tell that those kids are gym rats, you know, just by the way they play. And then you add, you know, Nixon in there, you know, and just his size, and you know, he's one of those. He's just so dang strong. You know, and big, and that's the thing, is there's not a lot of teams that can just match up size-wise even against a team like Weatherford.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can shoot as well, it just makes them so scary.
Well, and that's what's impressive about Supreme scores. You look at the point total averages coming in tonight for these 5 starters. CJ Nixon, not surprisingly, leads the way, 14 points a game. Walker Kennedy, 12 points a game. Tate Sage, 12 points a game. Ethan Sage, 10 points a game. And Jackson Smith at 7. You go, well, okay, that's good. The scoring spread out, but it's not overtly impressive. Keep in mind, folks, that of their 26 games they have played this season, there has been 5, just 5 of those 26, that either was within 10 at the end or that they lost.
Right.
So it's 21 of the 26, you could argue, were not really competitive games.
Right. They're not on the floor all 32 minutes.
Yes.
You know, they are coming out of the game probably mid-third quarter, you know, maybe do like a lot of teams do, where they get a minute or two in the fourth quarter, you know, just to kind of stay engaged type of thing. But yeah, they're not getting. We talked about that with Caden, you know, against Elk City. We're like, well, he's not going to get his average. Well, because he wasn't on the floor. Yes. You know, there's a reason why he didn't get his average. You know, and that's a lot of the reason why. And plus, you know, they've got balanced scoring. Yes. You know, that their scoring isn't just, you know, and you know, Woodward, we typically, it's, you know, 2 people, maybe 3 that get double digits. Just as far as the way our offense is set up, you know, but they're balanced. You know, that's 4 guys, at least 4 guys every night getting double digits.
And to illustrate that point further, CJ Nixon, a 2,000-point career scorer. Ethan Tate Sage, over 1,000. Walker Kennedy, over 1,000. So that combined is 5,000 points right there. Then you throw in Jackson Smith, kind of the lost guy of the starting lineup. He averages 7 a game, yes, not a lot, but he's shooting nearly 50% from 3 on the season. So you can't just forget about him out there.
Well,
I mean,
and that says a lot about it, because you have to account for the other 4 guys so much,
yes,
that he probably is getting a lot of open shots as well. You know, because you are having to kind of slide over and help once in a while, or you know, whoever's down in the post, you're double teaming or whatever it may be. You know, they have such a good basketball IQ that they're looking for the right person. It's not an ISO type of game, you know, for this Weatherford squad. They'll move the ball around, you know, and take what's given to them.
Absolutely it is. And as you can hear, the Weatherford Lady Eagles have indeed held on and defeated Elk City 53-36. So Weatherford gets the big win there. The girls will advance to the regional championship game on a Saturday with their win over Elk City. Going to be taking on Kingfisher, it looks like, as Kingfisher on last check was up by, close to 40 on Manford. So that will be a dynamic matchup there between Weatherford and Kingfisher, no doubt about it. It means Elk City goes to the consolation side. They get Clinton tomorrow, and Woodward will draw Manford. So there's a chance Woodward will get another crack at Elk City should the girls advance on to the consolation championship game after tomorrow. So that will be a very intriguing storyline to monitor as we go down the stretch there. With that, we'll step aside for break as they've got about 10 minutes or so on the clock, a little bit less, as we get set for the boys. It's Woodward taking on the top-ranked Weatherford Eagles. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
At Bank of Western Oklahoma, we've been a cornerstone of the community since 1908. Being locally owned and operated, we understand the values and the culture that define Western Oklahoma. From supporting local farmers to helping small businesses thrive, we take pride in offering personalized banking solutions that reflect our deep understanding of Western Oklahoma. Discover the difference of a bank that's been by your side for generations. Bank of Western Oklahoma, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
And back at Weatherford as we get you set for the Woodward boys to take on the Weatherford Eagles. We've talked at length about the pure dominance Weatherford has had on the season. Again, coming into this contest at 25-1 on the year. Over the last 3 seasons, done no worse than 25 wins now for all 4 years, I should say. They went 25-8 3 years ago, and then back-to-back 28-2 seasons. We'll see where this team winds up in terms of that record as they continue to progress through the playoffs. But let's look at kind of a deep dive, if you will, of what's going to be the key pieces for Woodward tonight. We talked a little bit of the mental side with those seniors, with Connor Prices of the world. And we also had on Caden Gaines and Cole Reed last night, who, again, underclassmen, right? Caden, the freshman. Cole, the sophomore, really getting his first big varsity time this year. And, Eric, I think it's just as important for those guys to, rise to this occasion mentally as much as it is the seniors, right? Because this is really, when you talk about, hey, you've had some big games through the year, right? The Anadarko senior night was kind of big. But this is it. This is the biggest challenge you're going to have on the mental side for those young guys. And whether it's, Caden Gaines, who you expect to try to lead the team, or Cole Reed, who has to come off the bench and be ready to go at any moment, every single person that touches the floor tonight is going to have to, as you alluded to earlier, is going to have to not only have their A-plus game, they're going to have to almost have their best game ready to go tonight.
Yeah, and it's always hard to kind of tell who's going to show up, because you can also look at it from a young player standpoint where, hey, they've only really worried about Weatherford once.
Yep.
The seniors have had to deal with it for 4 years now.
And if not Weatherford, Kingfisher, who was the top ranked at that time. So
the seniors had to deal with it in middle school, because they were playing these kids in middle school as well. The younger kids, when they played Weatherford in middle school, trust me, it wasn't the same. The last couple of years, I've been a part of that the last couple of years.
You're saying there's no more C.J. Nixons on the way, or the Sages? Thank goodness.
I will just say I was 2-0 against Weatherford.
Okay.
So if I can be 2-0 against Weatherford, that says something. And so and that's the thing. It's like if you're the young kids, hey, just go out there and play.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's you have the opportunity to be a part of this team because Coach Gaines trusts you. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of JV guys that are older that aren't getting a chance to play. So kind of take that and say, hey, we're just going to go out there. We're gonna play. We're gonna show why we deserve to be the kind of that next step in the evolution of this program.
Absolutely. And the big thing tonight, motivation-wise, for the Woodward boys, and you're going to have this shot through the rest of the weekend. But we talked about it a little bit last night. We've drawn so many comparisons to that 2013-2014 team that won 23-4. This Woodward team has the chance to get into areas for the first time since 2014. That's what's at stake this weekend. And, you know, these guys feel it's probably their best shot. I mean, those seniors especially feel like, hey, this is the best team we've had, you know, in our careers, so we don't want to waste that opportunity. And you're kind of glad. You hope they don't take too much motion of that and be nervous, but you're glad that the guys kind of recognize that, right? They know, hey, there's some good things at stake here for this program.
Yeah, you know, and I hope they kind of look back a little bit about the history with Woodward boys basketball. You know, it's really, you know, we've had good teams here and there. We've had good athletes here and there, but it's not a rich history of
especially to the girls.
As a winning program. Yeah. They have an opportunity to completely change that, completely blow that out of the water. You know, I always talk about the 2004 team that went to state. Yep. Wasn't supposed to be near the state tournament. No. You know, like we went into this season saying this team has a shot at, to be competitive all the way through area. Right. That team was not expected to make it to area, and they made a run to state. You know, that 13-14 season. You know, that was a good season. We've had other good seasons, but you know, we have an opportunity, these young kids especially, to be a part of something where, hey, they can stretch that out for several years.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, maybe even changing the culture within basketball as far as, you know, kids getting excited to play sports at a younger age and, you know, wanting to play at a higher level, things like that. Kind of what the girls, you know, program had been for so many years.
Be kind of that benchmark for the younger crowd, no doubt about it. But enough on the mental side, the legacy, what's at stake. When we get to the X's and O's, the physical contest on the floor tonight, the Woodward boys going to be at a size disadvantage. That's not unique, right? We've seen plenty of teams that have either matched your size or been able to be a little bit bigger. You think to the Jones game, similar in that fashion. Obviously, Caden's got to be big tonight. We know that. He's got to be his, you know, Dodge City 45-point self. That's what you want to see rather than the 11-point game he had the first time around. That was a lot of credit to how Weatherford locked him up. We talked with him about that last night. He admitted, yeah, a little bit overwhelmed that first time. They treated me that way, but he's now experienced it all the way through the season with every team. And around that, we've seen a Carter Reed. We've seen a Gage Hutchins. We've seen Isaiah Washington, Connor Sunderland, Connor Price. You know, you go to Cole Reed even and Jake Graff. All those guys have had good moments kind of knowing, okay, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Caden, so how can we kind of alleviate that with our gifts and our talents? And again, it's going to take all that tonight because there's a chance, probably, good likely chance, you're not going to win the battle on the boards. It's going to be tough to win the turnover battle because, as we talked about, Weatherford's so efficient with what they do in terms of moving the ball around. And you know they're going to be constantly trying to score, so it's going to be a little bit of a firefight tonight. But Eric, is there a path to the Boomer victory? How do you envision that? How do they accomplish saying, hey, we can go match toe for toe with the Eagles tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is definitely a path, you know, because here's the thing, you know, basketball, everybody can have an off night.
Sure.
Everybody can go through those stretches where they just don't have it, you know. But if you go out there and you are playing the defense out, we know the Boomers can play, where, you know, they're doing a great job of cutting people off. They're jumping into you know, jumping in front of cutters, kind of forcing them off their plane, different things like that. You know, play good defense. Don't let the officials let you get into foul trouble because you're, you know, getting beat or reaching out and trying to stop your guy. Play good defense. You know, you're going to create some turnovers, hopefully, if you're playing good defense, you know, and just kind of let that defense create some offense and see if it kind of starts to snowball.
And to that point, to extend to that, weather the storm a little bit, right? Because you know, so you know Weatherford's going to have that run during the game at some point where everything's going right for them. They're generating turnovers off of you. They're getting to the basket. Dunks are going down. Who knows, right? But you got to weather that a little bit tonight if you're the Boomers, if you're going to give yourself a shot. There's a lot of teams, when you watch them play Weatherford, all it takes is one good run by the Eagles, and the other team essentially gives up. They realize, hey, this is done, this is over. So can you show yourself to be a little bit better in that sense compared to some of those other teams, right? That's the big deal.
And that's where I think this team has grown so much throughout, really through last year going into this year, even when it started to get, when we played Anadarko early in the season, you kept waiting, when's that moment going to come where it's just going to start, Anadarko's going to kind of stretch it out and take over. And they never quite did it. Boomers could never get over the hump, but they never stretched out their lead, and that's where I was kind of like, okay, that thought process is now starting to change. In softball, we would call it the Woodward inning, or the boomer inning. Whenever I did middle school softball, and that kind of seems to be a Woodward thing where you just go through these stretches where mentally it's not quite there. And I think this team is kind of getting out of that mode.
Absolutely. Tonight, the Boomers, just as the girls were earlier, the road team tonight, so the boys going to be wearing the road black uniforms with the gold trimming, some white trimming in there, gold members and text. Weatherford going to be in those home whites. And we'll turn over here in just a second for your starting lineups. I don't believe we'll have another national anthem. So let's turn over for the starting lineups here in just a second.
Joe's debuting the new Henry Dog, the chicken strip on bun, the coleslaw. Also has Mike's Hot Honey on it. Side of fries and drink for only $8 at the concession stand. Unless you're sold out, then you're just too late. All right, let's begin the boys' action of tonight's game. Introducing the visiting team. They are the Woodward Boomers, head coached by Kayla Gaines. The starting lineup tonight, number 0, 6'1" senior, Carter Reed. Number 3, 5'8" senior, Connor Price. Number 20, 6'7" freshman, Kaden Gaines. Number 24, 5'9" junior, Gage Hutchins. And number 35, 6'4" senior, Connor Sunderland. All right, here we go. This is the home team. They are your Weatherford Eagles, who coached by Garrett Gold. The starting lineup tonight, number 3, 6'3" senior, Walker Kennedy. Number 11, 6'3" junior, Jackson Smith. Number 23, 6'7" senior, Ethan Sage. Number 24, 6'7" senior, no, you're not seeing double, that is Tate Sage. Number 35, 6'6" senior, CJ
There's your starting lineups for both squads. The expected starting 5 for the Boomers: Kaden Gaines, Connor Price, Carter Reed, Gage Hutchins, and Connor Sunderland. For Weatherford, Jackson Smith, Ethan Sage, Tate Sage, CJ Nixon, and Walker Kennedy, your 5. The Boomers going right to left in front of us in this first half. We're behind the scores table up top. It'll be Weatherford going left to right. Of course, Kaden Gaines going to be tipping off, and will be going against Ethan Sage for the Eagles.
So I'll say this, when we talked about the size of Weatherford, I didn't even pick up on this last time we played. Sonny looks really small against Weatherford.
Well, he would be their smallest guy on the floor.
Yeah, and so that says something about how, the size that they have.
Absolutely. So there's the whistle, 8 minutes on the clock. Ethan and Caden waiting for the tip, and it's Ethan Sage winning it for the Weatherford. They'll hand off to Tate Sage, who will lead the offense top of the key. Started by Carter Reed. Boomers starting in that man look. No surprise there. As they work it up to Jackson Smith, the junior guard. Finds Walker Kennedy, back to Smith. Swing it over to Tate Sage, right wing. Trying to attack on Reed. Reed stays in front, cuts him off. See, they will force it back out. They get it to Kennedy, right side. He jab steps on Connor Sunderland, drives to the basket, and is able to get the first one of the game. It's Walker Kennedy on the board with 2, and Weatherford leads 2-0. First possession. Boomers the other way, right side. It's Carter Reed on the wing. Looking to get somebody open. Goes up top to Connor Price. To Sunderland on the wing, guarded by Nixon. 35 on 35 there. Sunderland looking to pass. Boomers trying to be patient offensively. Sunderland tries to fire past the Gaines, top the key, stolen away by Ethan Sage, and he'll go in for the two-handed jam.
Yeah, Connor kind of looked back to the official to see if the official was counting, and he, as he came back around, he kind of forced that pass just a little too much.
6:55 first quarter. Weatherford with the first 4 points of the game. As the Boomers top the key on their second possession. Carter Reed looking to attack, cut off by CJ Nixon. Going between his legs out to Price. And they'll reset right wing to Reed. Get it to Hutchins. Ooh, nearly taken away there. Bit of a rough pass. Boomers trying to work it around. Find Reed again in the corner. Left side to Hutchins on the wing. So he's waiting to get somebody open. Gaines able to flash up top. Swings it right side to Sunderland. Boomers trying to be patient. Nixon almost stealing that pass. Gets a handoff, but it works its way to Reed, who slings it back to Price. Boomers still looking for that first basket. Gaines can't quite get open. Right side in the corner. It's Sunderland turning, trying to drive on Nixon. Gets him on the baseline and forces him out of bounds. C.J. Nixon, the OU commit, going there for football, showing his quickness from his usual, he's defensive end on the football field. Plays kind of that way at times on the basketball court as well. 6:11 left first quarter. It's 4-0 in favor of Weatherford. Right side, Smith takes the possession. So he picks up his dribble, top of the key, looking to work it down in the paint. It's Ethan Sage working on Gaines, gets up and under him, puts the layup in. Got Gaines a little bit in the air, and it was just enough. Ethan Sage with 4 of the 6 for Weatherford to start. 5:50 first quarter as Boomers trail 6-0. Still searching for their first basket. Carter Reed on the right side on the wing, trying to get to the free throw line. Double team, flips back to Gaines. Takes a step, pulls up for the 3, and hit it in the face of Ethan Sage. So Cade's first shot goes down, cuts it to 6-3. 5:30 first quarter. Tough look, not the one maybe you always advise, but it went in. As Weatherford back the other way, Tate Sage left wing in the corner to Smith, trying to drive on Price, cut off, zips it cross court in the corner to Ethan Sage, up to Nixon. Good crossover on Connor Sutherland. His layup attempt, though, comes up a little short. Fight for the board. It's off Walker Kennedy and in favor of the Boomers. So a little surprising to see C.J. Nixon miss point-blank range, but he did.
Yeah, and that's one thing that makes, another thing that makes Weatherford so tough is they'll take it right at you. And, they'll try to get your best player into foul trouble, and I think that's a lot of what they're trying to do right now early on.
As right side on the wing for Woodward is Sunderland. Again guarded by Nixon. Top the key to Hutchins. Near the Weatherford W. Looking to pass it over to Carter Reed. Does on the right wing. Reed guarded tightly by Tate Sage. In the corner to Sunderland again. As Boomers try to work some cuts into the paint. Not there now. Sunderland trapped deep. Nice little give and go back to Sunderland. Losing some control out to Carter Reed. Left baseline. Passes over to Price, steps up, takes the 3 left wing, rims out. Rebound tracked down by Jackson Smith, and Price able to get in there and force the jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it with the Boomers. Great job by Price to fly in and force that jump ball. Wasn't going to get the rebound, but recognized he could get in and affect the play. So it's Gaines, the inbounder for the Boomers from the sideline. They work it to Price, top the key, guarded by Walker Kennedy, 3-on-3 there. As it's Hutchins in the corner, right wing to Reed. Still looking to pass it on. Have only taken 1 shot so far in this first quarter. It was made by Kate Gaines. Now steal by Weatherford as Tate Sage Ethan Sage, rips it away. Drives, has a kick out to Kennedy in the right corner. Top the key. They swing it to Nixon. Over to Tate Sage for the 3, and he nails it. Trailed on the play, and Tate Sage on the board with 3. So the Sages have combined for 7 of the 9 for Weatherford as they lead 9-3. 4:02 left first quarter. Boomers top the key with Price. Left wing to Hutchins. Carter Reed trying to roll over. Not quite there. Gaines gets open up top. And he's got the possession, has the dribble, looking to pass it on. Finds Price. Sets a screen for him. Gaines reacts, and they'll say a foul on Weatherford. So Gaines maybe sold that one a little bit, but they'll get Walker Kennedy.
He may have sold a little bit, but I think he did take a pretty decent shot there. So, but he set a perfect screen. Yeah. They did not see him. He was in the blind spot. So great, good job by the freshman right there to draw the contact.
And Kennedy gets the first foul of the game for either team as the inbounds goes to Hutchins. Right wing to Carter Reed. Back up to Hutchins. And you can tell the Boomers that the problem here is you got to adjust to the speed at which Weatherford could react to these passes. Hutchins gets open down low, misses the first chance, but able to come back with the right-handed floater. So Gage Hutchins on the board with 2. Boomers trail 9-5, 3:25 first quarter. Game played at a slower pace right now as both teams trying to see what they could do. And not sure what the whistle is here.
I think there's something
on the floor. Yep, on the far side, away from the scorer's table. Officials identified it, so H. is off the floor. Good on them. Don't want any slippage or anything crazy.
I think that guy needs a new whistle. It kind of sounded funny.
As the inbounds for Weatherford.
Sounded funny like a soccer whistle.
Oh, wow. Top of the key, it's Dixon. He's going to try to drive on Sunderland. And Gaines able to, they're going to call that one a goaltend on Gaines. So it was close enough.
It was close.
Yeah. Yep, so they give Nixon the basket. And I think it would have missed regardless. A bit of a tough break there. I don't know if that was going in. So 11-5, Boomers trail, 3:05 first quarter. Price top the key. Left wing to Hutchins. Back up to Reed. Boomers still trying to adjust that length a little bit. Gaines gets it right side, takes the three. He nails another one. Caden Gaines off the screen. He's got 6. And that's the X factor here, folks. Caden Gaines is a lot more settled than the first time he played these guys.
Yeah, and he looks a lot more comfortable, too, than the first time they played him.
11-8, 2:40 left in the first quarter. Boomers trail left wing. It's Tate Sage dumping it down to Ethan. Goes cross court, right corner. Smith for 3. It's a little off the mark. Gaines trying to fight for the board. Able to take it away from Sage and get it over to Price. Price racing ahead in transition. Top the key. Flips it back to Carter Reed. Reset. Boomers have a chance to cut to 1 or tie. Hutchins with it. Up to Gaines. Takes another 3. A foul there. He's fouled. And Ethan Sage, kind of mad at himself. He just was in a bad spot, and Gaines smartly came over to the top of it and kind of leaned into it.
Yeah, he got a bad spot. Caden kind of held on to it just a tad bit longer than he normally does. And I think that Sage kind of thought he had more of a chance to get contact on the ball and ran right into Caden.
But on the first free throw, Gaines misses it. Usually an 80+% shooter from the line. It is the first foul on Ethan Sage. Both fouls have gone against Weatherford early, so don't say that the officials are in the Eagles' pocket.
Well, and a lot of that's just the patience the Boomers have had.
Second free throw, I should say, for Gaines goes down. So he's got 7 of the 9 for Woodward. As they trail 11-9. Connor Sunderland going to check out and take out Connor Price. So interesting. And I was wondering if we were going to see this, how many times we were going to see both Sunderland and Washington on the floor at the same time, as Coach Gaines wants to see if she can match that size a little bit better.
Yeah, plus it's going to give kind of CP a chance to get a rest. So whenever they do have an opportunity to speed the game up, when somebody comes off the floor, he's able to come back in fresh and ready to go.
Gaines makes the third free throw, makes 2 of 3. Weatherford the other way. Quick, another 3 and in for Weatherford. This time Tate Sage from the left corner. Makes it 14-10 in favor of Weatherford. Boomers the other way. Gaines looking for the answer. Right corner. That's too strong. Hutchins, though, with the board. Tried to get it down low. And Connor Price, what a job. We thought he had bounced it off Walker Kennedy, but it looks like it may have hit Price on the way back over. But it's tough angles right under the backboard. We couldn't see it as clean.
Well, so Sonny threw it off, and it bounced right off of him, and it came right back at him. He tried to duck, but he couldn't quite get down quick enough.
So back to Weatherford, 14-10, minute 50 first quarter. Boomers trying to hang in there. As it's Ethan Sage, right wing, up top to Nixon. Thanks about the shot. Instead, pass over Tate Sage, looking for another one, and that one rims out. Washington with a good box out of Jackson Smith, able to get the board. He'll calmly feed it back to Carter Reed. He'll jog it across the timeline, right side to Hutchins, high on the wing. Since screens are the Boomers, right corner, goes back to Reed, dumped it down to Sunderland, working on Nixon on the block. Kicks out, Reed takes it, jumps for the 3. That's a bit off right side. Rebound by Nixon, strong underneath. Still 14-10, minute 15 first quarter. As Weatherford pushes ahead, Kennedy down the left side just blows by a couple Boomer defenders and able to fly in for the layup. So Walker Kennedy with 4. Now it's a 6-point game again, 16-10. Boomers back the other way, high left wing with Hutchins. It's Washington trying to work off ball. So it's Carter Reed. Hutchins just holding it high. They find Gaines up top near the Weatherford W. Right side to Carter Reed. He's picked up by Walker Kennedy. Hasn't used his dribble. Now seeing a little bit more pressure from Kennedy and Will. Trying to shake him. Kennedy's sticking right with him. Still on the right side. Fires in the corner to Washington. He's deep. Guarded tightly by Ethan Sage. Now Washington in some trouble. Needs to pass it out. And pass gets tipped by Tate Sage, who comes over the top of Caden Gaines to knock it out of the bounds.
That's the thing. This Boomer offense, they can't allow those moments where they kind of get out of rhythm, which allows that quick, long defense to get in position. If they kind of are keeping moving, they're hitting their cutters at different times. That's going to help the Boomers out as far as the rhythm goes.
Hunter Nelson and Cash Jennings off the bench for Weatherford, taking out Tate Sage and Walker Kennedy. So a couple new players there. 28 seconds remaining first quarter. Boomers trail 16-10. Maybe trying to hold for those final shots. Hutchins takes it high right wing. Guarded tightly by Smith. Good dribble move to get around him, but they call the foul as Hutchins
they gave him the 2.
Did they give him the basket too? They count the basket, so it's an and one. I thought that was an early one.
That was an NBA.
Wow.
That's an NBA continuation right there.
Yes, it was.
He called that foul before Gage was even near going up for the layup.
So it's an and one for Gage Hutchins, who's got 4 points, and the foul on Jackson Smith. 17 seconds left first quarter. Hutchins trying to go for the traditional three-point play here. Great drive. Had a nice crossover atop the key there to work his way in. Couple dribbles, spins it, shoots the ball for Hutchins, and that's good. So Gage makes the end one. He's got 5. Gaines has 8. They've combined for all 13 points for the Boomers so far in this first quarter. As Woodward trails 16-13, Connor Price back into the ball game. He'll take out Isaiah Washington.
And that's exactly what Coach Gaines did. As soon as one of the Tate twins came off the floor, or one of the Sage came off the floor, she put CP back in there, gave a little bit of quickness.
10 seconds first quarter. Top the key. It's Smith with it for Weatherford. Trying to dribble around in the corner to Ethan Sage. Jab step, long 2 at the buzzer, and he hit it. Ethan Sage with the 2-point basket, and that's how we end the first quarter. Woodward trails Weatherford by 5, 18-13. We'll step aside for break. Come back with the second quarter. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Tired of complicated Wi-Fi management? Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi makes it easy. With Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi, you can set your Wi-Fi password, view all your connected devices, and even run speed tests all from your phone. Need to set up parental controls? No problem. Simple, smart, secure. Stay connected and in control with Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi. Visit GoPioneer.com to learn more.
You tackle an endless to-do list every day. It may seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
And back to begin the second quarter for Woodward and Weatherford. Weatherford working it with the first possession down to Ethan Sage through a triple team. Able to put it up and in front of the basket. 8 points for Ethan Sage. Weatherford now up 20-13. Boomers the other way with Hutchins top the key. Goes to Price on the right wing. Starting 5 back in for Weatherford, so the Sages, Nixon, Kennedy, and Smith. Boomers have their starting 5. Right wing, it's Sunderland taking the pass, looking for somebody. Finds Hutchins working around top. Boomers again just working this approach. As you mentioned, Eric, earlier, just trying to keep this Weatherford defense moving, not let them get wholly set. That's Carter Reed, high left side, top the key up to Price. It's not quite Anadarko stall ball, but it's saying, hey, we're going to step out of our comfort zone and try to calm it down. Gaines gets the pass, tries to flank. Good defense from Ethan Sage on the backside. Forces the miss. Rebound, though, by Carter Reed. The Boomers extend the possession. It's Connor Price, left wing, top the key to Hutchins. 6:55 left in the half. Boomers trail 20-13. Reed, a little miscommunication there with Hutchins, who started to cut when Reed fired the pass. It's a turnover by the Boomers.
Yeah, the way that play design is kind of set up to where, you know, when Caden makes that little curl, if it's not there, then there's kind of a beat, and then Gage will take off and cut down the lane. You know, and so I think that's just, you know, Carter kind of held onto it just a little too long. And
for the other way, trying to get down to Nixon, has to fight through some traffic, misses the layup up close again. Rebound taken by Gaines. Boomers the other way, right side with Price. Feeds to Carter Reed. Ooh, pass. Kennedy almost jumped it. A little give and go from Reed to Hutchins. Down low to Sunderland. His shot blocked by Weatherford. As it's the Eagles taking it the other way with Smith. Gets to the free throw line. Kicks out Dixon for 3 right wing. Too strong on the 3. Rebound taken by Sunderland for the Boomers. 6:10 left in the half. Boomers trail 20-13. Hutchins has it. High left side. Bounces it to Gaines near the Weatherford W. Right side to Carter Reed, trying to get the play set up. Top key up to Sunderland. They swing it back to Gaines, left side, guarded tightly by Tate Sage. Looking to take him off the dribble, gets cut off, swiped at, double team. Lost the handle, able to get it back going. Goes for the layup and scooped it in. And a whistle. They get the and one for Caden. Let's go. It is an and one.
Yeah, they're gonna say kind of got him as upside the head as he was going up. So
great move by Gaines, and the foul charge to Tate Sage. That'll be his first of the quarter. So it's Gaines at the line with 10 of the Boomer 15, looking for the and one. Too strong off the back iron. Remains a 5-point game, 20-15. 5:40 left in the half. Weatherford the other way with it. High right wing Kennedy. They'll swing it over to Smith, left side. Goes top key. Tate Sage thinks about the three. Up fakes. Takes the three. Short off front iron. Rebound by Nixon. Weatherford working it back around. Boomers jump early on Kennedy, who just drives to the basket, take the layup. Can't get in the air on these guys. They'll take advantage of it very easily, as Walker Kennedy did there. He's got 6. Makes it 22-15. Still in favor of Weatherford. 5:15 left in the half. Boomers have not led this game, but have so far kept it at least somewhat tight. Tough drive by Carter Reed. Can't get that one to fall left side. Rebound taken by Nixon. Ahead to Smith. The lob to Tate Sage, and the lob almost went in. Sage able to get a hand on it to complete it. He's got 8. Make it 24-15. Top key for the Boomers with Hutchins as they trail with 4:50 left in the half. Right side to Price. Back up to Hutchins. Over to Sunderland left side. Boomers working off ball again. Top the key to Price. Just calmly back to Sunderland. The corner Gaines. Thinks about it. Gets Ethan Sage swiping at him. Gaines a tough take and draws the block as there's 3 or 4 Eagles just piling into him.
Yeah, I was kind of worried they were going to give the offensive foul to Caden because he wasn't fully in control really, but whenever you are a player that caliber, it's hard to kind of judge that what is not in control and what is in control. So we'll definitely take it. It was still a great move ultimately for him to drive the baseline like that.
The foul was on Jackson Smith, his second. Gaines makes the first free throw, cuts it back to an 8-point game, 24-16. Cash Jennings back in. And Dylan Epp in for Weatherford now as Kennedy and Tate Sage sitting in. Boomers bring in Washington as well. So the second free throw for Gaines, that's good. Makes both. He's got 12 of the 17. 24-17. The Boomers trail. 4:35 left in the first half. It's Nixon bringing it up the court for Weatherford. Calmly hands it to Ethan Sage, who gives it to Jackson Smith. Washington guarding on Nixon, has it top the key. He's trying to drive. Double team comes. Nixon with the hop step and draws the foul. Washington said he was straight up, but Nixon just using that size. And sometimes, it's tough for an official because Nixon's so big that when he drives into guys, it looks like there's contact.
Well, and it's one of those things where, too, like if Isaiah was able to get his position set, he was jumping back.
Yep.
With Nixon the whole time, and so whenever you jump back like that, if there's any kind of contact as the defensive guy, more than likely you're the one who's going to be charged with it.
Nixon makes the first free throw, and I think, here's the crazy stat, I believe that might be the first foul of the game for the Boomers.
Yes,
which is incredible with 4:21 left in the half. So you got to give him credit for playing a pretty clean defensive game so far. Nixon looking for the second free throw. A couple dribbles, dips and shoots. That one good. Nixon makes both. He's got 4. And it's 26-17 in favor of Weatherford. Largest lead of the game at 9 points. Reed, top the key, goes right side to Sunderland. So he's looking to get it to Washington on the elbow. Does to Gaines, left wing, guarded tightly by Ethan Sage, trying to get the screen on Sage. Sends it right corner. Sunderland trying to attack on Nixon. Has kick it over to Hutchins. The left corner, Hutchins sends it over to Reed.
He missed Isaiah. He was in perfect position.
He was. And now he's getting swiped as they get to Isaiah, and it's stolen away by Weatherford. Kennedy got in there, got still. Hutchins comes back with his own steal, and can't get the layup from the left side. He can't believe it. Great steal, just couldn't quite finish it. And now a timeout taken by Coach Derek Bull. Not liking what he's seeing right now from his Eagles as Woodward trying to hang tight. The first timeout of the first half here. Great Plains Bank, heritage, trust, respect. Those are the things that make Great Plains Bank great. Deep roots across Oklahoma and Texas. They are in touch with communities in which their customers live and work. Compass Athletics, from sports equipment to championship trophies and everything in between. 2024 Main Streets in Woodward or 580-256-7045. And R5, when you work with R5 Customer Warrior, you can count on a quick, fun, and enjoyable process with results that consistently exceed expectations. Go chat with their screen printers 817 Main Street in Woodward, or 580-256-3579. Great Plains Bank, Compass Athletics, and R5 Parent Boomer Sports this season. So out of the timeout, Weatherford will have the possession. Unfortunate for the Boomers that Gage Hutchins got a great steal, just couldn't quite finish it. We'll cut it back to a 7-point ball game.
No, when you talked about the foul situation where the first Boomer foul called for the whole game. That was the first Weatherford turnover they've had tonight. And for the Boomers they're used to, by this point in the game, forcing 5, 6, 7 turnovers. So it's just a different beast that they're playing.
Weatherford out of the timeout with the possession. They'll swing it over to Kennedy on the left wing, and then we got a foul underneath. Washington getting a little too physical there with C.J. Nixon, and is going to get charged for his second foul.
Yeah, they're going to get Isaiah, but Isaiah kind of got hooked under there, couldn't get his arm out.
That's why he's trying to kind of argue a little bit. So, but regardless, they give Washington the foul. So reset for Weatherford as Kennedy inbounds to Ethan Sage, left elbow, hands it to Tate, thinks about the shot, drives, gets cut off. Back to Ethan Sage for the 3, off the back iron, rebound, poked out. Hutchins can't quite corral it, and it goes out of bounds. Back to the Eagles. 3:17 left in the half. That one went into the Boomer bench. So it'll be the inbounder, Cash Jennings. Hutchins all over him. Goes up top to Walker Kennedy. He's guarded by Carter Reed, trying to get down to Ethan Sage, and Gaines able to jump in front, poke it away a little bit. They force the turnover, engaged with an extra pass. Tried to throw the lob to Gaines, couldn't get it. Shot by Gaines off, rebound underneath by Sunderland, and now he's getting tied up. Do they say foul or jump ball? Jump ball. So possession arrow keeps it with Woodward. Gaines or not Gaines, but Hutchins, just that extra pass, man. One too many. You like the idea, but Gaines gave it to him to try to finish that layup.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where you can't worry about being flashy. You just got to take what you can get.
Absolutely. So it's Carter Reed, the inbounder, beneath the left block for the Boomers, out to Gaines. Left side, trying to drive, cut off, elbow, pulls up for the jumper. That's off the back iron. Rebound, though, Washington able to essentially poke it out to Connor Sunderland. Boomers reset with an offensive board. 2:45 left in the half. They trail 26-17. Right side at Sunderland on the wing. Cuts it into Cole Reed. He gets open underneath. His layup, though, too strong. Lost the handle on the pass and got himself too deep. Good look, just couldn't complete it. So Cole Reed can't finish that one. Weatherford the other way. Cash Jennings gets open. He takes the 3, and he nails it. So Cash Jennings with his first basket off the bench makes it 29-17 in favor of Weatherford with 2:20 in the half. And Coach Gaines wants to take a timeout, kind of reset her boys a little bit after that big bucket from Weatherford. Western Drug, 1021 Oklahoma Avenue in Woodward. They've got a friendly and caring staff and a drive-through window that is awfully convenient. Always excellent service as well. 580-256-5586. And Seal Lake State Bank, they've got a branch in Woodward, the new location, 2314 Williams Avenue. Seal Lake State Bank Woodward branch offers full-service banking, including personal checking, savings, home and commercial loans, mobile and online banking, wire transfers, and much more. Western Drug, Seal Lake State Bank, Power and Boomer Sports this season on KMZ FM Woodward. As out of the timeout, Woodward will have the possession.
Tyler,
what's up?
I just saw Mr. Bradbury in the stands. Now, his beard is glorious.
Oh yeah,
big white puffy beard. I'm digging. I wish I could pull that off.
A little jealous is what you're saying. Okay.
Great mustache.
As out of the timeout, Boomers with it. As Carter Reed, they'll send over to Isaiah Washington. Working back to Reed, sees the double team coming. Bouncing down to Cole Reed on the baseline, swinging it around. Over to Gaines in the corner. He's quickly double teamed, nearly out of bounds. His pass a little long. Cole Reed has to track it down and does. As again, Carter Reed takes it back to Cole right side.
Ooh,
he just traveled with it. Yep. So turnover there by the Boomers. Getting a little too crazy trying to swing it around.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, the Boomers are kind of falling into that, going just a little too quick for the way they really like to play. They kind of slow down a little bit.
So Connor Price checks in, the 5 on the floor. It's Carter Reed, Gaines, Connor Price, Connor Sunderland, Isaiah Washington. Weatherford with possession as they lead 29-17. Nixon on the right wing trying to size up Washington. Crosses over, kicks it out, left wing, 4-3. Tate Sage, easy money. Tate Sage with another 3. He's got 11 in this first half. That's a 32-17 advantage in favor of Weatherford. Boomers in the backcourt with Connor Price. Sees the double team right across the timeline, just has to fling it, and that is an over and back. Smart move by Weatherford, kind of waited on him there right across the half-court line, and he fell into that trap. So a turnover there as Weatherford will take it back.
And that's that basketball IQ that Weatherford has is, you know, they recognize kind of where the Boomers are as far as the game flow is going, and you know, kind of back on their heels, and they're just going to kind of let them make their own mistakes.
Tate Sage, another 3, deep right wing. That one rims out. Ethan Sage flies in, tries to get the putback, and Caden had to foul him to prevent that putback. So it'll be Ethan Sage to the free throw line for 2 shots. First on Gaines. Third of the quarter for the Boomers. Minute 6 remains in the half. Woodward trails 32-17. This is that run we were talking about earlier from Weatherford, right? It's come, so now how do you respond if you're the Boomers?
You know, but the thing about the Weatherford's runs is it's not one of those, you know, kind of those quick, exciting type of runs.
It builds over time.
Yeah, it starts to stretch out, and next thing you know, you look up and it's a, you know, 20, 25-point game. A lot of teams have fallen into that.
Sage makes both free throws, so Ethan Sage with 10 points, joining his brother Tate Sage with double figures. Boomers the other way. Gaines trying to bounce a pass up to Carter Reed. Read by Walker Kennedy. It's a steal for Weatherford as Tate Sage able to take it down the left side and get the layup. 13 for him. Boomers the other way, trying to go too quick, and there's that turnover. And Coach Gaines, I think, will take another timeout. And it is a full timeout taken by Coach Gaines, as now Weatherford on top 36-17 with 47 seconds left in the half. M&D Enterprises and the Lawnmower Shop for your best lawn, porch, or patio. M&D Enterprises and the Lawnmower Shop are your people. They carry everything you need to make your greenscape that little piece of heaven you've always dreamed of. Locations in Woodward, Ken, and Weatherford. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty. They are Oklahoma's real estate and land auction experts. Smith & Co. is your #1 choice for your land auctions and real estate needs. 580-254-3975 or email Ira at smithcorealestate.com. Smith & Co. M&D powering Boomer Sports this season. So, Boomers trail 36-17. Falling into a bit of that gap, and at this point, Eric, I'm sure the message is, hey, you got to take it back to one possession at a time, right? That's what you did to start this game. Had some success with it. Now you got to get back to that if you're the Boomers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and obviously you're going to go into every game, and you're going to try to, you know, whenever you're down 19 points, you're going to try to do your best to, you know, get back into the game, hopefully get back over the hump. But you've also got to get back into having some kind of flow because, you know, if you lose this game, you're playing again tomorrow night.
Yep.
You know, so you can't get to the point where you're so out of whack that whenever it's time to get back on the floor, you know, you have trouble getting back in your own rhythm. You know, so I'm just, if I'm Coach Gaines, I say, hey, let's go out there. We got to play good defense. We got to be smart, not turn the ball over and give them easy opportunities.
Weatherford with it out of the timeout to get to Tate Sage right corner. He pumps, he drives, feeds it down to Ethan, working through some traffic and gets the layup in. So Ethan Sage with 12, Tate Sage with 13. They've got 25 of the 38. As the Boomers trail 38-17, 20 seconds left in the half, and Connor Summerlin just having to throw it off of Jackson Smith. Good defense by him on the right corner. Cash James will come back in for Smith. Weatherford Reed into the floor, taking out Isaiah Washington.
Weatherford's length makes it so tough when they're in any kind of zone type of defense, whether it's half court, kind of a half-court pressure type situation or what. They're so long, it's hard to get the ball around them.
Price able to swing it over to Hutchins right side. Boy, Weatherford trying to still sell out there. Ethan Sage was for a steal. Pass inside, intended for Reed. Stolen away by Tate Sage. At the buzzer, puts up the half-court shot, and it comes up short. And that is how we end the first half. Woodward goes to the locker room trailing 38-17 to the Weatherford Eagles. We'll step aside for a break, come back with your halftime stats and recap. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, Pipe Lanes Tire.
This back-to-school season, give your home the connection it deserves with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Experience the power of Wi-Fi 6 technology for smoother streaming, gaming, and learning. And with the Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi app, managing your home network is a breeze. Choose from multiple plans with symmetrical speeds for lightning-fast uploads and downloads. Get your family school ready with Go Pioneer Fiber Internet. Sign up today at gopioneer.com.
And back in Weatherford as the Boomers trail the top-ranked Eagles 38-17 at the break. Let's look at your halftime stats for Woodward. Caden Gaines having a strong first half with his 12 points. 2 3-pointers made in that half for him as well. He's got 12 of the 17. Then you've got the other 5 coming from Gage Hutchins. So they've combined for all 17 for the Boomers. On the Weatherford side, the Sages showing out. Tay Sage with 13. He's made 3 threes. Ethan Sage with 12. You've got 6 from Walker Kennedy, and then 3 from Cash Jennings. A little bit of a quiet half from C.J. Nixon with 4. His presence felt more on the defensive end, obviously, for Weatherford. Look at the quarter scoring. Woodward did what they needed to do in the first quarter. 18-13, they trailed by just 5 after 1, but Weatherford, similar to that district game last year here, cranked it up a little bit in that second quarter. They'd had a 20-4 second quarter to get that advantage where they're at now, up 38-17.
Yeah, and kind of looking at some of these other stats where, man, that's loud.
They're chucking ducks here at the half.
But looking at some of these other stats, turnovers, it's 11-2. Their Boomers have 11 turnovers, and you talked about the scoring difference in the second quarter. They went into the quarter with 4 turnovers. So they had 7 turnovers in that second quarter, and kind of rebounding kind of matches up with that a little bit, where a lot of the Weatherford's not missing a lot of shots, and a lot of their opportunities have come from turnovers. Boomers are actually out rebounding them 9-7.
Yeah.
And so, kind of looking at the rebounding totals as far as Sunderland's got 3 with the 2 offensive boards. Hutchins has 2 offensive boards. And then Gaines, Carter Reed, Price, and Washington each have a rebound. And it's just looking at those stats, it's so unusual. There's 1 assist for the Boomers tonight. And again, they moved the ball around really well, and but they've only got 1 assist. There's only 1 steal for the Boomers tonight. It's so unusual compared to the way that the season has gone this year.
Well, it comes back to what you talked about a little bit there, and points out that length for Weatherford, right? That starting 5, the smallest guy on the floor for them is listed at 6'3". They've all got great arm length. They all have a high basketball IQ and are really adept of reading passes. They know where you want to go with it, and oftentimes you're going to see them jump it. So that was part of the Woodward attack in the first quarter, to say, hey, we're going to measure our passes. We're not going to get too crazy with it because, as you pointed out, if you keep that defense moving a little bit, it takes away maybe an opportunity for them to really jump into those passing lanes. And that worked to success in the first quarter, but once you start turning the ball over, you start getting the game a little bit faster pace, that goes away. And you could tell, and Ethan Neal, by the way, former Woodward player, he's up here tonight. He could attest to it. I know I've talked with him about it, not only this season, but we talked about last year, where you think you know how to deal with that length, or you could have tried to imagine it, going into the game. But once you get on the court,
right,
it's a completely different story. It changes everything in terms of your offense.
Well, and that's the thing, is a lot of times when they go kind of into that high zone defense and kind of pick you up at half court, it's kind of it's a hybrid 1-2-1-1 and a 1-3-1. And when you get that kind of length going across the floor, 3 guys,
yeah,
you think you have an opening, and whenever you go in there to make the pass, we saw I think the last turnover of the half, maybe it was Gage who thought he saw Carter wide open.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had a great opportunity. And he went to make a pass, and all of a sudden the hand kind of, gets in there and slaps the ball away. It's so tough. And when they have taken away any kind of penetration, when they've taken that out of your offense and you're forced to sit there and just pass the ball around, Boomers aren't getting their cuts. They've jumped the cutter a lot. And the Boomers just kind of need to figure out a way to get back to basics and not try to do too much and figure out a way to get some kind of flow on the offensive end of the floor.
And mind you, to be honest, like compared to the first time around against Weatherford this season, Woodward's doing a much better job. We talked about Caden looking a lot more locked in, right, as far as his game. And for the most part, we haven't really seen too many plays for the Boomers that look like they're scared. It's just been more athletic, standout plays from Weatherford than anything. And so you get into the second half regardless. If you could continue to work, kind of ignore that scoreboard a little bit and just say, okay, what can we go accomplish against the top team in the state? And you mentioned this, find that rhythm, because if it holds, you're playing tomorrow anyways, right? So you need to be able to find rhythm. And when you look at the rest of the teams that you might face in this regional, not to say it's a cakewalk by any stretch, but it's teams that either on paper you look like you have a fair shot against, like a Manford, should Woodward lose tonight, that's who they would play. And then Kingfisher and Cushing, one of those two teams are going to lose tonight, and it's likely there's a chance you'll meet back up with them in the consolation championship game should you get past Manford. And those are two teams you beat on the season. So not to say it's a cakewalk from here, but, and we talked about this on the coaches show last night, this is literally as tough as it gets, and you get to start the regional with that and then get to recover from there. So that is the plus side of a game like this.
Yeah, it really does. It does feel like, when everything came out, you look at it and say, okay, we're going to have to play Weatherford, but there's a legitimate path to area for the Boomers. The way that they've been playing, the scary thing is, are they going to be able to bounce back?
Yeah.
What and I don't want to say be able to, because we know they can. It's just what mental state are they going to be in as far as when they come out tomorrow, because again, they haven't really been in this situation right here since the last time they played Weatherford. And I can't remember who they went up against immediately, because I think it was a Winter Classic, or was it Anadarko?
They played Weatherford, and then they did play Anadarko in the Winter Classic.
And so, so at least they had that kind of in the back pocket of, okay, we know what it's like to come out and play like this, but they don't have days in between as well. And that's what makes playoffs, so interesting. You're able to get teams kind of caught off guard at times, just because you played in tournaments throughout the year, but you're not playing the better teams all the time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And so I think the Boomers will be all right as far as recovering, from a game like this, but you really don't know, because you haven't been in that situation very much.
That first half recap, the stats as well. High Plains Tire halftime stats recap. Visit High Plains Tire, 2220 Main Street in Woodward is where your dollar goes further. Teams get back on out of the locker room, getting some shots up. So we'll step aside for our halftime break. Come back and get you to the second half. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
At Bank of Western Oklahoma, we know what it takes to keep your farm running smoothly. Our experienced lenders understand agriculture and offer competitive loans for real estate, livestock, equipment, and more. We are locally owned and invested in our communities, making decisions that benefit you quickly. Bank of Western Oklahoma, the bank that works as hard as you do. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
About ready to begin the second half between Woodward and Weatherford, as Woodward just now getting back out of the locker room. Took a long time there, all the time in that halftime. And a bit of a score update. We're talking about Kingfisher and Cushing being the other matchup, and this would be an upset by the rankings. Right now, Kingfisher on their own court leads Cushing 28-18 at the break. So
I told you I was not sold on Cushing.
Well, and I don't think either one of us were. Not to say that they're a bad team or anything,
Right.
but
They're not.
they were
I thought they
highly
were
ranked, you know, a little bit compared to when you look at their schedule and what they had played. So and Kingfisher, to be fair, we talked about a lot, has played far better down the stretch of the season than what they started out on the year. So they've kind of started to gain that confidence for themselves as well. So definitely a good tilt there. So begin the second half. It is Weatherford with the possession as they work right to left in front of us. Boomers work left to right in this half. We're behind the scorers table up top. Weatherford getting it down to Nixon. He'll drive on Connor Sunderland, get it off the glass and in. Nixon with 6 to begin the second half. Boomers trying to drive on the baseline, and Sunderland fouled, I believe, underneath. I think it's going to be a shooting foul, looks like, on the floor. Boomers try to push it the other way quick. They get Jackson Smith, his third foul.
Yeah, I think Sonny was trying to sell it as this. Well, I think they're going to give it to him as far as going out.
Okay, there we go. So Connor Sunderland goes to the free throw line after drawing the foul from Jackson Smith. 40-17, the Boomers trail, 7:42 third quarter. First free throw for Sunderland falls, and he's got a point tonight.
And that was probably part of the halftime speech by Coach Gaines, was that, you know, the Boomers got to do a better job of going at the basket.
Yeah.
Because towards the end of the first half, everything was, you know, they were very horizontal from sideline to sideline, really right there around the volleyball lines.
And so it's the free throw made from Sunderland. He got both. The Boomers trail 40-19. Sunderland, the first scorer that is not Gaines or Hutchins for the Boomers. Nixon left wing for Weatherford. Drives, crossover, gets the man in the air. Wild shot, though, goes off the backboard. Price trying to get the rebound. Swatted away by Cash Jennings, so it'll be Boomer possession. A good move by Nixon to get into the paint, but again, rare to see him miss a few of these opportunities up close. As it's Boomers the other way with Price in the backcourt, trying to get over to Carter Reed, gets it across, top key to Sunderland. Right on the wing in the corner. Gaines takes it, fires the three with some pressure. Oh, it's pure. Does not matter. 15 for Caden Gaines of the 22. Boomers still trail 40-22. 7 minutes left third quarter. Gaines with at 15. Nixon top the key for Weatherford. Dribbles it back out, feeds it over to Tate Sage, guarded by Gaines. Pulls up his dribble, left wing, now needs somebody, finds Walker Kennedy. Still tries to attack, zips it in the paint to Ethan Sage, blocked from behind by Gaines. Hutchins on the floor, sailing out to save it as he gets it to Connor Sunderland, and the Boomers come back the other way. Hutchins taking it across the timeline, top the key. Right side, Gaines tees up another three off the catch and shoot, and that's a little short. Rebound taken by Walker Kennedy, and Connor Price, man, he's so good at it, forces another jump ball.
He's sneaky.
He is, and that's the second time he's done that to Walker Kennedy, and essentially keeps the possession for the Boomers as they have the possession area. So it's Hutchins, the inbounder, out to Sunderland top the key, back to Gaines. Another catch and shoot three, that one off balance for Gaines, and it's off the front of the rim. Rebound underneath by Kennedy. Yeah, so feed it to Jennings down the left side. Stops, top of the key, hands it to Nixon beside him. To Kennedy, he's looking to attack on Hutchins. So he'll drive off the dribble, the layup off the mark. Price trying to save it, and they say it's out of bounds on Price as he was trying to lean on that baseline and save it.
Yeah, I think both CP and Carter kind of looked at that, kind of said, who's going to take it, who's going to take it, and ended up bouncing off Price.
6:05 remaining third quarter, and off the inbounds, Ethan Sage able to get open off some screens. Easy layup for him right side. He's got 14. Makes it a 20-point game again, 42-22. 5:55 third quarter. Gaines fires past to Reed. Back to Gaines. In the paint, just puts up the right hand, and it smacks off the glass and in. So 17 for Gaines. 5:40 third quarter. Nixon driving right side, kicks out to Jennings, right corner for three. That's a little strong. Rebound slapped out by Ethan Sage. Works his way to Walker Kennedy. He drives from left wing. Nice pass down to Tate Sage, who cuts in the basket. 15 for Tate Sage. And just so clean as Weatherford most of the time. As it's high left wing, Hutchins for the Boomers. Dribbles around to the right side in the corner to Gaines. Sees checked quickly by Ethan Sage. Gaines gets a screen, but finds Carter Reed, cut to the basket. And how about that for a highlight? Up over both C.J. Nixon and Walker Kennedy for his first basket of the game. It's a way to do it. 44-26, Boomers trail, 5 minutes third quarter. As it's in the backcourt with Tay Sage. We'll take you across the half-court line, right side to Walker Kennedy. Dumps it down to Nixon on the block, guarded by Sunderland, and Ethan Sage trying to drive. And they're going to get the foul on Caden Gaines as Ethan Sage drove right into him. Gaines couldn't quite stay strong enough. So get Gaines for his second foul. And it will send Ethan Sage to the free throw line. The Sage twins, 29 right now, the 44. Ethan Sage trying to surpass his twin Tate here at the free throw line. Dipson shoots the first free throw, and it's short. Isaiah Washington pops off the bench for the Boomers. He'll take out Connor Sunderland. As the second free throw upcoming for Ethan Sage. Dipson shoots that one short as well. Rebound bounces off Caden Gaines, goes to Connor Price. Feeds ahead to Hutchins. He'll just attack the basket. They sold out. Hutchins somehow up and under to get it off the back iron and in. That was a wild layup from Gage Hutchins. He's got 7. I don't know how he was able to get that.
I've talked about his body control, some of the things he can do in the air. It's pretty crazy.
C.J. Nixon going to his sweet spot, the mid-range, just around the free throw line, pulls up and nails it. He's got 8. 46-28, the Boomers trail. Back the other way, Hutchins, right side, gives it to Washington. Back to Hutchins, stops, takes the 3 and nails it. Gage Hutchins starting to get in rhythm. He's got 10. And the Boomers cut it back to 15. We're working our way back. 4:05, third quarter. Weatherford with it, top of the key. Walker Kennedy, left wing to Nixon. Just shovels it over to Tate Sage, dumps inside to Ethan, and the Boomers quickly foul him essentially to prevent that. Carter Reed and Gage Hutchins were not going to allow an easy basket. They get Carter Reed with the foul. His first. Probably a smart one. He didn't have the size advantage there. This will be on the floor. So the inbound for Weatherford goes into Nixon, working through a double team of Washington and Gaines, and they're going to get Washington on the foul. Shot missed by Nixon. Isaiah just couldn't quite keep around him. So it's the third on Washington. We'll send Nixon to the free throw line. He's got 8 in this ball game, starting to heat up a little bit. So he was not quite as involved offensively in that first half. First free throw short. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Bulls will be saying, fellas, we can't be shooting free throws like this.
They're going to win a state championship. Well, and honestly, if I remember right, that's one thing that kind of bit them a little bit in that Owasso game was they had trouble knocking down some key free throws.
So the second one upcoming for Nixon. Couple dribbles. And it's odd because he's so good at that mid-range. Second free throw, that one good. Like when he pulls up off the dribble there, that's one of the sweet spots, you know. So he's got 9, makes it 47-31. Boomers trailing by 16. We'll take a look here. As it is Great Plains Bank, Heritage Trust, respect. Those are the things that make Great Plains Bank great. Deep roots across Oklahoma and Texas, they are in touch with communities in which their customers live and work. Compass Athletics, from sports equipment to championship trophies and everything in between. Visit them 2024 Main Street in Woodward or call 580-256-7045. Great Plains Bank, Compass Athletics, powering Boomer sports this season. So the Boomers are trying to show some fight back. Right now, technically winning that third quarter, right, as you're trailing by 16. You've won the quarter so far by 5. But you like to see some more scorers other than Caden Gaines and Gage Hutchins. That's kind of the big deal right now. You got to find that third scorer.
Well, and that's the thing. We kind of touched a little bit on it during the pregame where, you know, the Boomers usually have 2, maybe 3 guys in double figures where, you know, Weatherford's got 4 guys that average double figures. You know, and if you're going to try to beat somebody who's the caliber of the Weatherford Eagles, you've got to have guys you're not expecting to be able to step up and do something and make a huge difference. So
out of the timeout, Boomers with it. Hutchins left side. Oh, Sunderland tries to feed it down to Gaines. A little miscommunication there. Sonny thought that Gaines was going to stay right on that left side instead. Gaines cut to the right side and it goes out of bounds. Not a bad play out of the timeout, but just unfortunate in. So it goes back to Weatherford as they lead 47-31, excuse me. Tate Sage just below the free throw line, dumps down to Ethan on the block, working on Sunderland right side, misses the layup underneath. Gaines with the rebound, pushes ahead to Reed in the corner. Hutchins tees up a three left side, too strong. Backside rebound corralled by C.J. Nixon. He's quickly double teamed, has to get rid of it. Finds Ethan Sage down the right side, fires it to Tate Sage left wing. Kicks it to Smith on the right side. Trying to drive in the corner to Nixon. Thinks about the shot, wants to attack on Gaines. Now loses the handle, but able to collect it back as it careened off the backboard. Gets it up top to Walker Kennedy. He crosses on Connor Price. Hangs for the layup, just a bit too strong. Rebound taken by Caden Gaines. Good attack by Kennedy, didn't stick. Gaines fights Hutchins coming on the backside, but Sunderland didn't see it. He thought that pass was coming to him, and it goes out of bounds off the hands of Sunderland. Can't blame Sunderland there. He's right in front of Hutchins. Doesn't even see Gage on the backside.
Yeah, and that's, he kind of, that pass was just low enough that Sonny thought it was to him.
Yep.
And it's just kind of a tough situation right there.
Weatherford the other way. Tate Sage drive below the free throw line. Then work it out to Walker Kennedy. Back up to Ethan Sage. He pulls up just beyond the free throw line. And air ball, hand in the face by Carter Reed. And goes out of bounds. Rare you see a Sage twin air ball.
And here's the thing, I think you can kind of, whether the Boomers come back and win this or not, if they continue kind of where they're at right now, you can look at that and say, okay, you did play, with the exception of about a quarter and a half, maybe even a little bit less.
Played right there with them.
You played right there with them with a great team. So you have a lot that you can still take from the game.
Boy, and there it is at length. Ethan Sage, the strong two-handed jam. Got a steal off Caden Gaines and just all by himself the other way. 49-31, Boomers trail by 18. Gaines double team in the backcourt, works it up to Reed. Left side, he'll pull up mid-range for the jumper, and it rims around and falls. Stuck off the front of the net. 4 for Carter Reed. And we're still trailing by 16, 49-33, minute 30, third quarter. As it's Tate Sage on the left side, top the key to Ethan, pumps, drives. Gets cut off below the left elbow. Back up to Nixon. Hands off calmly to Walker Kennedy. Nixon sets the screen. Kennedy drives, kicks to Ethan Sage, left corner for 3, and that's good. And just such clean ball movement by Weatherford. 19 for Ethan Sage. Boomers the other way. Reed feeds over to Price. He's on the right side, picks up his dribble, gets it back to Carter Reed. Over to Price in the corner. Gaines tees up the 3 and hits it from the right side. 20 for Caden Gaines. Minute 15, third quarter. Boomers trail 52-36. Still a sizable bubble here for Weatherford. They just keep trading buckets with the Boomers. As it's Nixon high right wing. Weatherford sitting up a little more four corners right now, holding this possession as we're down to the last minute of the third quarter, 55 seconds. Seems Weatherford content to hold. Woodward content to say, hey, we'll let you take this final shot. We'll catch our breath a little bit too.
You think Weatherford fans get tired of seeing this because
they had to see with Anadarko.
They saw this with Anadarko too, and I mean, honestly, a couple of years ago, both teams did it the whole game.
Yep.
And
I mean, if you win, what does it matter?
Right.
That's kind of the deal.
But as a fan, you get tired.
You probably do. You're checking your phone,
like,
looking
as
at other
fans,
scores. Get up, go to the bathroom. Down to 24 seconds. Nixon still holding the ball unchallenged near the right wing. Tate Sage comes to him now with 18 and takes the possession. Gaines will guard him. As Coach Gaines kind of directed the boys how to play this defensively. Down to 9 seconds. Tate Sage now looking to attack. Feeds it to Smith. Free throw line out to Kennedy right for 3, and it rolls in. Walker Kennedy able to drain that one as we end the third quarter. And it is Weatherford ahead 55-36 of the Boomers into the final frame. We'll step aside, come back for the fourth. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Feel safe and secure with Arlo Wireless Outdoor Camera, available at Pioneer. Arlo offers top-notch protection with crystal clear video quality, rain or shine. Monitor your home from anywhere with remote smartphone access. Whether you're at home or on the go, Arlo keeps you connected to what matters most. Trust Arlo and Pioneer to keep your home safe and secure. Visit GoPioneer.com to get your Arlo wireless cameras today.
You tackle an endless to-do list every day. It may seem like a thankless job, but you know better. It's the little things that matter most. That's why you'll appreciate the enduring value of the Michelin Defender tire. Designed for doers like you, Michelin's longest-lasting tire keeps you on the go longer, so you have one less thing to worry about on your next road trip. Stop in today for miles of uncompromised safety and performance. Visit your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire, at 2220 Main in Woodward.
And about ready to begin the fourth quarter between Weatherford and Woodward. The boys trailing 55-36 to the Eagles. Should this score hold, Woodward would play tomorrow night at 7:30 in Kingfisher, as that's where the regional main site is. Likely, I say that, Kingfisher on the boys' side was leading Cushing 28-18 at the half. The Woodward boys, we know, will play Manford tomorrow. As Nixon
there it
underneath,
is.
and there's the charge to start the fourth quarter. Is Connor Sunderland, a classic vintage Connor Sunderland move. So he draws the foul on Nixon. That's Nixon's first of the game. Sunderland caught him leaning in, reacted, and there was the whistle. So Boomers forced the turnover, essentially begin the fourth as they work back the other way. Price seeing the double team coming on the right wing, needing somebody. Gets Carter Reed open, top the key, trying to dump it in the corner to Gaines, stolen away by Smith, feeds ahead to Nixon. Price able to come over and just bat it away from Nixon as he started to gather. Stay with Weatherford, 7:27 left in the ball game. Boomers trailing 55-36. As is Smith beneath the right block, actually in between the block and the three-point line. Dumps it out to Ethan Sage on the right elbow, hands off to Tate Sage. Zips it down to Nixon. Good ball moving again off ball. As Nixon gets the easy layup, he's got 11. Boomers back the other way. Price gets Hutchins left wing. Lets the double team start to come to him, then dribbles away from it. Now slips up a bit, trying to pass it back out to Price and batted away by Ethan Sage.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what happened here in the second quarter is where they come out, and when they go into that zone,
it is so tough.
You know, it's hard to, and they start, Boomers start making mistakes because they just can't get the passes through the passing lanes.
Top key is Price off the inbounds. Seeing the double team to the left wing to Gaines in the corner, trying to spin it down to Connor Sunderland, and Walker Kinney steps in front, steals it away. He'll take it coast to coast. A little bump by Hutchins. Doesn't matter. Kennedy able to finish. He's got 11. So guess what? Weatherford has 4 players now, double figures. It's the 4 you expect. Boomers the other way, trying to swing it around. Reed, high right wing, takes the possession. Passes back over to Price, left side. As C.J. Nixon stepping up to him. Over to Reed, back on the right side, dribbles around, finds the gap into the paint. Nice cut by Gaines, and an easy pass, easy bucket. Good ball movement there by the Boomers. Good take by the senior Carter Reed to free that one up. Gaines with 22. Boomers the other way, and a whistle on a timeout by Coach Bull of Weatherford. Boomers trail 59-38 with 6:18 left in the ball game. R5 customer embroidery. Want to work with R5? You can count on a quick, fun, and enjoyable process with results that consistently exceed expectations. Go chat with their screen printers about customized apparel. 817 Main Street in Woodward or 580-256-3579. And Western Drug, 1021 Oklahoma Avenue in Woodward. They've got a friendly and caring staff and a drive-through window that is convenient. Always excellent service. 580-256-5586. R5 Western Drug, powering Boomer Sports this season. And hey, I mean, I know in the end it may not feel like it, but we're going to talk about the postgame too, but what an effort by the boys to continue to try to fight and keep moving. And so much of a difference between the first game and now. It is crazy. Weatherford with it out of the timeout. Kennedy drives, kicks to Ethan Sage. 3 left wing, that rims out. Rebound, Nixon able to pull it down, tries to put it back up, and draws the foul on Connor Sunderland as Nixon comes up short on the shot. Sunderland doing everything he can, try to hang tight down low. It's only the first foul on Sunderland. Has done a good job battling down low without fouling until now.
It smell like pancakes to you?
Dude, I don't know what
I'm smelling
is.
maple syrup.
Something hit. Yeah, I'm smelling maple syrup. That's probably the best way to describe it. Nixon's first free throw up and in. He's got 12. Now we got Coach Godwin over here sniffing and looking around as he's working the camera.
I'm not complaining, but not what I expected.
Definitely an odd one to hit. Second free throw for Nixon goes. He's got 13. Makes it 61-38 in favor of the Eagles. Left wing, it's Price. Top the key to Reed. Left side to Hutchins. Weatherford going back to that zone now. Sunderland dumping it down to Reed. Draws that double team. Gets it to Hutchins. Flies in. Puts up the floater. And just rimmed out from the right hand. Good look. Doesn't go down. Rebound taken by Weatherford. Smith pushes ahead. Left side. Kicks it cross court. Right corner. Kennedy drives. Over to Smith. Wide open. Left corner for three. And yes, that's good. Smith with his first basket of the game. But it is, of course, a three-pointer. 64-38. Weatherford extending their lead. 5:25 left in the ball game. Boomers trying to work it around. Gaines takes it, shoots the three deep left wing. Comes up a little short. Rebound underneath by Tate Sage. Try to get a quick look there for Gaines. Weatherford calmly working it ahead. Nixon bounces over to Tate Sage, high left wing. Back to Nixon. He's trying to get somebody to come to him instead. Looking to attack on Carter Reed. Sees a triple team coming. Finds Tate Sage in the corner. Jackson Smith, another look. Yep, it's good. 6 for Jackson Smith. Back-to-back threes for him. 67-38 Boomers. The other way. Gaines trying to drive on Nixon. Leans into him. The shot off the back iron.
That's a heck of defense right there.
I mean, that's a stone wall in C.J. Nixon. Yeah. That is a stout guy right there. And Gaines has been working on the strength, but he doesn't quite have the muscle yet that C.J.'s had. C.J. Nixon drives and just says, I'll see you up top. Two-hand jam from C.J. Nixon. Wow, 15 for him. Weatherford starting to pull away down. 69-38, 4:20 left in the game. Boomers the other way, right wing to Sunderland. It's Reed. They'll swing it around to Hutchins. Price, left side, gets Nixon in the air, drives, kicks back to Hutchins. Little floater in the paint, good. Boomers working around. Hutchins sticks another one, and he's got 12. Caden and Gage have combined for 34 of the 40 tonight. Gaines with 22, Hutchins with 12. Weatherford the other way. Tate Sage looking to attack down the left wing. Kicks it back out. They work it to Kennedy, top the key. Steps in just under the three-point line. Kicks it over to Nixon for three, right corner, and he hit it. C.J. Nixon filling it up here in the fourth quarter, showing the type of player he is. The 2,000-point scorer trying to close it out as he's got 18 now. It's a 72-40 game just like that in favor of Weatherford. Can happen in a blink, folks. Sealy State Bank now with the branch in Woodward. The new location, 2314 Williams Avenue. Sealy State Bank Woodward branch offers full-service banking, including personal checking, savings, home and commercial loans, mobile and online banking, wire transfers, and much more. M&D Enterprises and a lawnmower shop. For your best lawn, porch, or patio, M&D Enterprises and a lawnmower shop are your people. They carry everything you need to make your greenscape that little piece of heaven you've always dreamed of. Locations in Woodward, Canton, and Weatherford. M&D and Sealy State Bank, powering Boomer Sports this season. 72-40 as Weatherford trying to put this one away. Seeing C.J. Nixon come to life down the stretch, and folks, when he turns it on, it's really impressive. We saw the two-handed jam, take it off of the wing. He hits the three. He can do it all.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to, and we talked about the two three-pointers that Smith just hit as well. And that just kind of is kind of what I was talking about there in pregame. Is you got to worry about the other four so much that it's going to leave him wide open, for those opportunities. And if you're the Boomers right now, you just got to come out and play with a little bit of pride. They're going to forget about the music. We're going to get an NBA style here. We're play music, but. Come out, kind of just play with a little bit of pride, get ready for tomorrow.
Connor Price takes the three, top the key. That one just a bit off. Hit the front, hit the back, and was out. After the Boomers won the third quarter 19-17, Weatherford has won the four so far, 17-4. Nixon, another pull-up jumper. That one just below the three-point line, a little short. Rebound, nice save by Gage Hutchins. Works it all the way over to Gaines. He'll feed it to Reed, flies in the paint, gets the scoop layup. Carter Reed with 6. 72-42. They've got to correct the score there. They will. Cash Jennings the other way for Weatherford. They tried to go for the one-hand jam to Ethan Sage on the oop. That's off. Rebound by the Boomers. Step back three for Carter Reed the other way. Just rims out from the left side. Gaines got completely knocked down. No call there on the backside. As Weatherford works it to F. He'll drive, bounce it down low, up, and the shot off the mark for Weatherford. As they've worked in some of the backups now, that was Hunter Nelson missing the opportunity. Weatherford, though, got the offensive board at the top of the key. Goes left wing to Jennings. 2:30 left in the game. Weatherford leads 72-42. As it works its way to Nixon up top. Gage Hutchins trying to guard him. Nixon looking to attack on the crossovers. Gets around Hutchins into Sunderland. Layup good off the back of the glass. Off the glass. Nixon with 20 in a blink. Boomers the other way, and a whistle and a timeout taken by Coach Gaines. As Weatherford on top, 74-42. 2:13 left of the ball game. Smith & Co. Auction and Realty. Oklahoma's real estate and land auction expert. Smith & Co. is your #1 choice for all your land auctions and real estate needs. 580-254-3975 or email hire at smithcorealestate.com. As Weatherford likely, obviously, to move on to that regional championship game on Saturday in Kingfisher. Try to see who they might be playing. Told you that Kingfisher and Cushing was in an interesting battle with Kingfisher on top of last check. That was at the half. And it looks that, Cushing has stormed back. 38-35, Kingfisher clinging to a 3-point lead. So that is a heck of a battle. We know the Boomers likely to take on Manford tomorrow. That's going to be at 7:30 tomorrow night. So we'll have the same time slots that we had today, where the girls going to play at 1 o'clock, the boys going to play at 7:30 tomorrow. Is going to be the case.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Gaines is going to wave the flag, put our other guys in, and this is a good call, kind of give you don't want anything to happen, here at the end of the game when you got to, bounce right back tomorrow.
So it's Cole Reed, Aaron Laredo, Luke Talley, Isaiah Washington, Jake Graff, the 5 for the Boomers. Graff on the handle, high right wing. Weatherford's also answered in kind with most of their 2s in as well. 2s and 3s, I should say. Graff hands off to Cole Reed on the wing. He'll work it around. Gets it to Washington near the free throw line. Trying to bounce it back to Cole Reed. Swings it left side to Talley in the corner of Laredo. So working back out to Talley. Just moving around this possession. Talley bounces over to Cole Reed, high right wing. Reed comes back to get it. He's got the dribble, finds Laredo left side. 1:30 left of the game. Over to Graff, right side, a sell out of the steal by Epp, misses. As Graff gets it to Reed on the right side. Cole Reed pushing his way in. The shot too strong to lay up, and then Laredo on the backside is fouled, trying to grab the loose ball. See who they get for. They get Cooper Bryant for Weatherford, the sophomore. That's his first, second of the quarter for Weatherford. As it's Washington beneath the right block for the Boomers, the inbound. Weatherford trails 74-42, down to 1:20 left. Washington having to fight through some traffic. Top key to Talley. Right side to Laredo. Left wing to Reed. To Talley again on that left side. So he looks up to Graff. Graff going to turn, drive down the right side, trying to stick the layup, just can't do it. This goes off the glass of the rim. Good luck from Graff, good take, just couldn't get it to go down. 55 seconds remains as Weatherford's possession. Talley able to swat one out of bounds from Cooper Bryant. Isaiah Washington will check out and give way to Mason Moore for Woodward. As on the far side, the inbound for Weatherford goes to Epp, top of the key, trying to cross up on Cole Reed. Reed able to poke it, but it rolls right to Cashin Skinner for Weatherford. Working back to Epp, he wants to go top of the key, flies down to the paint, loses the handle a little bit, but they're saying poked out of bounds by the Boomers. With 40 seconds remaining, Weatherford on top, 74-42. As is Epp inbounding, pass a little long, steal by Bourne. So try to go down the right side, gets cut off, has to try to go back to Cole Reed and then travels with it. So back to the Eagles with 36 seconds remaining. As inbounds goes to Epp on the left side. Checked by Graff. F driving in. Oh, a nice little dump off underneath. The shot just rims out by Weatherford. Rebound taken by the Boomers and Graff. Tough look there for Weatherford. As is Graff dribbling across the 20 seconds. Boomers might just hold this one, let it run out. As Weatherford seems content as well. People pick it up. This place emptying out quick as we get down to 8 seconds. To 5, to 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that's your ball game. Weatherford has clinched a spot into the area. They go to the regional championship on Saturday night as they defeat the Boomers 74-36. 42 your final. We'll step aside for a break, come back with your post-game stats. You're listening to Boomer Basketball on Z92 and Boomer TV.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire.
Tired of complicated Wi-Fi management? Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi makes it easy. With Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi, you can set your Wi-Fi password, view all your connected devices, and even run speed tests all from your phone. Need to set up parental controls? No problem. Simple, smart, secure. Stay connected and in control with Go Pioneer Smart Wi-Fi. Visit GoPioneer.com to learn more.
And back in Weatherford as we got your final tonight, 74-42 in favor of the Eagles over the Boomers. Let's look at your post-game stats for Woodward starting out supplying large portion of the points tonight. It was Mr. Caden Gaines. He finishes with 22 of the 42, hit 4 threes tonight. Then you've got 12 from Gage Hutchins. He hit a 3 as well. Wound up with 6 for the senior Carter Reed and 2 points for the senior Connor Sunderland. On the Weatherford side, the big four, if you will, doing their work, as you had 20 from C.J. Nixon, 19 from Ethan Sage, 15 from Tate Sage, and 11 from Walker Kennedy. Also, Jackson Smith with his 6 hit 2 threes there late for Weatherford, late third quarter, I should say. Yeah, quarter scoring, Boomers kept it close in the first, 18-13. Weatherford extended, though, in the second quarter, won that one 20-4. Boomers answered back with a 19-17 third quarter, but Weatherford ultimately closing it with a 19-6 fourth quarter. And, I mean, it's everything we talked about, you know, at the top of the broadcast. When that machine gets rolling that is Weatherford, Eric, it is really, really tough to stop. How we're looking on some of those other stats.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the thing is, you know, we talked about this at halftime, you know, turnovers, you know, and that it's just they are so long and they force so many turnovers by getting in the passing lanes. It ended up being 17-4 as far as turnovers.
And 17 is not a horrible number. It's not necessarily great, but like that's not obscene. It's just that Weatherford's so efficient. Right,
and that's the thing. It's not a terrible number, but you can't do that against the number one team.
Absolutely.
You know, you've got to play a clean game, and you know, and you can say maybe 3 of those were unforced errors, you know, where somebody tries to make a cut about the same time they're getting past it or whatever that may be, you know. But ultimately, you know, when you turn it over against a team like Weatherford, they're going to capitalize. And you know, I don't know if you had those secondary analytical, the points off turnovers, things like that. It'd be interesting to see what those numbers would be tonight. Boomers actually still out-rebounded Weatherford. Again, it goes back to how efficient they are. You know, even on the offensive end, you know, they hit a lot of three-pointers tonight. You know, they shot well, but they also had a lot of opportunities under the basket. Boomers did out-rebound them 21-16. Hutchins, Price, and Sunderland each had 4 rebounds. Gaines had 3 rebounds. Carter Reed and Jake Graff and Isaiah Washington all had 1 rebound. Carter Reed was kind of the best as far as distributing the ball. He had 4 assists, while CP had 2 assists. Gaines and Washington had an assist each. So
I'd say overall, again, compared to that first matchup, a much improved effort for the boys tonight. Stayed in the game a lot longer, you know, and that's all you could really ask to do and keep fighting. So
well, and that's the thing. And I was kind of texting with somebody during the game, and I said, you know, if the Boomers, you know, can do this on a, you know, greater, as far as they did some things through periods tonight, if they do it on a, you know, bigger scale against most other teams, they have a chance to make a run to the big house through the consolation bracket.
Sure.
You know, just because, you know, they did show that, hey, at times we can play, you know, with a team like Weatherford. Again, you've got to put that together for a full game against
Easier
a team
said
like
than done,
Weatherford
yes,
to win
yes.
the gold ball, but ultimately, you showed that, hey, at times when they were patient, they played good defense at times, and so again, there's still a lot to be excited about as far as the rest of this, the rest of the way. It's kind of you don't want people to look at this kind of game against Weatherford and be like, oh my gosh, well now it's falling apart. It's not falling apart.
No, yeah.
You
So much
just
more
played
context behind it.
arguably the second best team in the state.
Yeah.
In all classes. So.
No doubt about it. So trying to get a final score real quick on that Kingfisher-Cushing game. It's down to the final minute. Last update was still 38-35 is what we got. So, but that was a 21-minute ago update. We know pretty much the entire bracket. Other than that, let's sit you up first with the girls' side. The Woodward girls going to play at 1 o'clock tomorrow against Manford. Those games and the rest of the games this weekend in Kingfisher. So Woodward, Manford, 1 o'clock for the girls tomorrow. That is a consolation semifinal. The winner of that moves on to the consolation final. The other side of the consolation bracket there is Clinton and Elk City. That game being played at 6 o'clock. So should Woodward take care of business tomorrow on the girls' side, good chance you might match back up with Elk City and have a district championship rematch there, which would be real interesting. The winning team of that could go to area. On the winner's side of the bracket, if you will, for this regional, it is going to be Weatherford Kingfisher played for the regional championship on Saturday at 6 o'clock. And then tomorrow for the Boomer boys, they will take on Manford as well. So we get the Pirates on both sides. And that game at 7:30. So it's the same time slots we had today, 1 o'clock and 7:30. And then Cash is going to take on the winner the loser of the Kingfisher-Cushing game. That'll be played at 2:30 in Kingfisher tomorrow. And it will be Weatherford against either Kingfisher or Cushing for the regional championship on Saturday at 7:30. So everything tomorrow is consolation side. And the Boomers 1 o'clock and 7:30, both games against Manford. So should be a lot of fun. We look forward to that. And like I said, Eric, I think both not only on the boys but also on the girls side, excitement going forward that hey, they can still make a pretty good run and punch their ticket to area here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the Boomers, overall, with the exception of having to face Weatherford, had a pretty good draw, in regional, and they have an opportunity to, kind of, albeit the hard way, they have an opportunity to play one more weekend. That's one more weekend that Coach Godwin does not have some soccer players on the field, but I think he'll.
But make no mistake, he loves to see these players succeed. Don't get that wrong.
Well, and that's the thing and we talk about this a lot of times off air and other coaches. I talked to Coach Oakley about this one day where, success of one team a lot of times will carry over to another team. And, yeah, it may delay a little bit, especially going in from winter sport to spring sports, but that momentum can still start snowballing and, kind of carry on from program to program. So.
Absolutely. Hey, do want to get to our Bank of Western Oklahoma player of the game for the boys' side. Go with Kate Gaines. His 22 points, 4 boards, hit those threes. Good effort from the freshman, second time around against Weatherford. So Bank of Western Oklahoma goes beyond banking. No matter where you are, the Bank of Western Oklahoma is always close. Find a location near you at bankofwesternoklahoma.com. And with that, we are done here in Weatherford. Everything will shift over to Kingfisher tomorrow, and we hope you could join us both on Z92 and Boomer TV, as both games will be streamed on Boomer TV and, of course, carried live on Z92 for the radio side. Everybody, have a great rest of your Thursday night. We'll catch you tomorrow in Kingfisher.